So Rex Tillerson was the Secretary of State under Donald Trump until he was unceremoniously fired like so many others. Earlier today, I was watching a video where they were talking about all the different people fired under the Trump administration. And I was like, Jesus, good Lord. Look at all those people that got fired. I mean, the turnover rate here is, in Trump's words, tremendous. Tremendous turnover. Which, by the way, I love turnovers. Just go off topic for a second there. But anyway, it's really hard to keep track of all the different firings and resignations that have happened since Trump got into office. There have been so many of them. But this, his Secretary of State, is a fairly big one. Because the Secretary of State is an important position. Now, look, now that Tillerson is out of the administration, he has decided to warn the next generation of leaders about people like his former boss. This is interesting. Now, in a commencement address at the Virginia Military Institute in Lexington, Virginia, Tillerson told the crowd that Americans had a responsibility to confront leaders who mislead the public or promote realities that are no longer grounded in facts. Wow. He said, if our leaders seek to conceal the truth, or we as people become accepting of alternative realities, or maybe alternative facts, if Kellyanne Conway were here, that are no longer grounded in facts, then we as American citizens are on a pathway to relinquishing our freedom. Instead, he said, Americans should seek fact-based society rather than one based on wishful thinking and hope for outcomes made in shallow promises. Wow. How bad is it when Rex frickin' Tillerson is actually sounding reasonable? How low can you go? Apparently, really low. He continues. If we do not, as Americans, confront the crisis of ethics and integrity in our society and among our leaders in both the public and private sector, and regrettably at times even the nonprofit sector, then American democracy as we know it is entering its twilight years. Now, that is a very interesting statement coming from Rex Tillerson. Now, as far as American democracy entering its twilight years, no, I think we're already there. We're an oligarchy. Tillerson is actually a great example of that. While running ExxonMobil, his company lied about climate change. They funded politicians that worked against doing something about climate change. Rex Tillerson was part of the problem. Rex Tillerson, his company was funding fake news, funding think tanks. I mean, look, these politicians would take money from these think tanks funded by corporations, ExxonMobil or Koch Industries, that would go and peddle this bullshit about, oh no, climate change, it's not happening. Or, well, climate change is happening, but it's not man-made. We can continue to put more carbon into the atmosphere. It's fine. It's fine. So excuse me if I don't think that Rex Tillerson is qualified to talk about any of this stuff. Nonetheless, he is actually right. Now, to go back to Tillerson here, he had no business being the Secretary of State, by the way. No experience, no diplomatic experience. The only reason that he was there, I think, is to facilitate oil deals. Look, that's what Hillary Clinton was doing, except that she was promoting fracking all over the world. Rex Tillerson was there to promote oil all over the world. Now, he wanted to make an oil deal, especially with Russia. Now, Russia, by the way, was stopped on this $500 billion oil deal thanks to the Obama sanctions, right? So this oil deal did not go through. And Congress actually passed more sanctions on Russia. And by the way, Trump continues to try to not implement these sanctions despite a congressional veto. Or, here's Congress saying, no, you must do these sanctions. You have no choice. We can outvote you. We can force you to do these sanctions. Donald Trump still refuses to do that. Now, of course, the only reason that Tillerson was there fell apart, so they replaced him. And now they replaced him with Mike Pompeo. Now, Mike Pompeo is dangerous. Dangerous because he wants more war. He wants war with Iran. Now, Tillerson, as I said, he was freaking terrible. But to his credit, he didn't actually want war with Iran. All he wanted to do was make more money for his company. Which, for some reason, that seems better. But it is better than causing a war with Iran. So, look, Pompeo is one of those guys that wanted to rip up the Iran deal. And guess what? We ripped up the Iran deal. And now things are going to get worse. We alienated our allies in Germany, France, and the UK. And we might be responsible now for putting Iran not only on the back on the path to getting a nuclear weapon, but also, as I did a story before, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia says, well, if Iran gets a nuke, then we're going to get a nuke. And now here we have a nuclear arms race. Now, it all depends on whether or not Iran stays in the deal with the rest of the EU. Now, as a final terrible response, we also emboldened the mullahs. I don't like the mullahs. I have no love for the mullahs. I have no love for the extremists. The Iran deal was a victory for the moderates. The mullahs and the extremists throughout the whole thing, they said, no. America, we should not make a deal with America. We should get a nuclear weapon because America can't be trusted. They can't be trusted not to invade us and not to fuck with us. We need a nuclear weapon. So, guess who proved them right? Donald Trump. Now, finally, Tillerson, back to him. He wants to address fake news. Now, this is good. He said that Americans need to confront false information when they see it, and argues that a failing to do so would erode American democracy and transform the U.S. into a more repressive society, similar to Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. Quote, we do not have to look far to find examples of the cost to individuals and to society when integrity is sacrificed for immediate gain or personal achievement. Sean Hannity. Just saying. Such damage strikes at the very heart of a free society and undermines the public trust in institutions and the overwhelming number of individuals, organizations who do live and compete by the rules every day. Again, he's right. And it's been going on, by the way, a lot longer than Trump. Trump is just the newest iteration of an issue that we have had for a long time. And that is the corruption. That is the issue of corporate control of the government. We also the issue of corporate news and a corporate news media that panders and peddles. And on the issue, for example, for Fox News that peddles disinformation to their viewers, and some on the left that also peddle disinformation to their viewers as well in order to make money. So, look, there's a lot of problems. It happened before Trump, but Trump is actually one of the biggest examples of the problem because it's right in your face. Now, a good example of the problem is people like Rex Tillerson. He is a big part of the problem because, as I mentioned before, he helped fund that fake news into climate change so that he could make more money for himself and his corporation. He sacrificed the truth. That truth that burning carbon has an impact on the climate for personal gain. That comes with an enormous cost. That cost is going to be borne by the poorest first before it comes for the rest of us. And by then, it's too late to make a difference. And Rex Tillerson and the politicians, they help build that. So overall, my point is, he can be right. And what he's saying about President Trump and the Trump administration, without actually naming them, is correct. But also, He's an incredible hypocrite. Again, he avoids calling out Trump because Trump will likely retaliate against him and his business. But make no mistake, Tillerson knows he's done wrong. He knows his own sins. But Trump has him so worried about the entire United States that he actually is calling out the administration in whatever way he can. And look, if somebody like Tillerson is concerned about what's going on, well, then that says a lot. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.